when you can celebrate a win, that's always special. When you can celebrate a postseason spot, that is big time. 9 teams, they know they are dancing. Welcome to a brand new edition of NFL Total Access. Happy New Year to everyone. Bucky,
yeah,
Sean
speaking
Hunter,
of dancing.
Mike Yam with you, yeah.
Yeah, we're ringing it in right now.
Oh, I thought you were about to bust a move or something. I was like, okay.
At the end of the show.
Okay.
We got
I like
to
it.
start this.
I like it.
Right?
That's what we call a deep tease. Yes. 1 week from the 1 week is left now at this point. Playoff positioning still up in the air. We do know the #1 seeds. The path to the Super Bowl, it is going to be going through Baltimore and San Francisco, which means we actually still have some really significant games on the Week 18 slate. All right, check this out. The Dallas Cowboys, for all the talk about the struggles this season, they got an opportunity to win the division and host at least one playoff game. A team that's undefeated in Dallas. Yeah, that Cowboys team, that would be a big deal for them. Last year's NFC champs, the Eagles, can win the division with the win against the Giants, and of course they will need Dallas to lose.
Ooh, that nightcap too?
Yeah, they don't control their own destiny. Meanwhile, this is the reason why. Jalen Hurts and company matching up against Arizona. We thought that this could be a get-right game ahead of Week 18 and the postseason fourth quarter. Tied at 21. Look, I didn't think we were going to be tied, although we're untied here.
Yeah, look, this was a game that the Eagles were dominating early and allowed the Arizona Cardinals to creep back into it.
Yeah, speaking of the Cardinals, Sean, they're trailing 31-26. Why not lead the charge? Kyler Murray coming up big.
Yeah, big throw right there. Kyler Murray was making all kinds of plays with his legs in this game, but this time he gets a little help from his friends.
Yeah, Greg Dortch with the reception. No. Yeah, you can see Matt Patricia's like, is this happening again? Yes, it is. 2 plays later, James Conner plunging into the end zone. 28 carries for him, 128 yards, a touchdown, and a touchdown reception for him. Here's Nick Sirianni earlier today.
When you're in a rut or you're in a hole like we're in right now, or just not playing and coaching the way we want to do things. Yeah, that's always tough. Because you put everything you got into this. When you're not seeing the rewards of it, you're upset, and but you can only be upset for so long. You got to get back up and figure out what the solutions are and what the answers are.
It's not supposed to look like this. Omar Ruiz was in Philadelphia, where the fans, I'm sure, Omar, were thrilled by what they witnessed yesterday. Explain to me, man, because you got a front row seat for this. You've been around this team for the last couple days. What has gone wrong for them over the last month or so?
Well, I think Jason Kelsey said it best when we were by the tunnel and he was the last Eagle walking off the field. He said to no one in particular, how the heck did we just lose that football game? Similar questions followed in the locker room, a lot of generic answers, or answers that said, if we knew the answers, we would have avoided these struggles of the past several weeks. Nick Sirianni's message to his team, stick together, avoid the finger pointing. I asked Jalen Hurts after the game how they do that. And he said, you have to control what you can control, continue to put pressure on yourself to make that daily improvement. Now, Brandon Graham, one of those relentlessly positive people, the veteran, he did offer specifics on why he believes they can still attain all of their goals, which includes that Super Bowl run. He pointed to the missed tackle by Avonte Maddox on Greg Dortch that allowed the Cardinals to get inside the 10 to set up the game-winning score. He says when Avonte Maddox gets that opportunity again in the playoffs, he'll make that tackle. He mentioned Zach Cunningham, their linebacker, and Darius Slay, one of the best corners in football, coming back soon. When they get healthy, when they get right, they'll be better. He believes they'll have that postseason push that they're all hoping for in Philadelphia.
Yeah, got to get healthy, which is obviously going to be key, but not for nothing. We've been talking about some of these issues now for a couple weeks. Omar, always appreciate the insight. Hopefully your stomach is still full coming off that Philly cheese that I know
it is.
You had to have.
It was two-fisted.
You get 2 of those in that hand. All right, meanwhile, look at some of these numbers here. And this is a huge difference. Matt Patricia takes over the play calling on the defensive side in Week 15, and they're having problems, Bucky, stopping teams in the second half. What are you picking up on in terms of the film?
Well, they're not closing games out. They're not playing close attention to detail, and there are a bunch of different issues that are plaguing the Philadelphia Eagles. We can talk about the coverage or lack thereof, not tackling, not doing the simple things, but really when it comes down to it, the Arizona Cardinals ran it down their throat. They had over 200 rushing yards, and really to play good defense, it's fairly simple. You got to be gap sound, you got to be fast and physical, and then you got to tackle. Let's look at the tape, and you're going to see it. It's pretty easy. Here we go, a little cutback lane. Someone should be in this gap right here filling, but watch. Safety gets pinned inside. Now we're not off blocks. Now someone has to make a tackle. Should be line up, square them up. We're falling on the ground.
Oh, get your fleece right.
Now, what should be maybe a 5-yard gain at best is a 20-yard gain. And we continue to see it over and over again. You see 6 at the line of scrimmage, 8 in the box. You should have more people there. You can see 2 people on the edges right here. One should go inside, the other should go outside, leverage on the ball carrier. Neither does it. Then you miss a tackle. And here's James Conner just running through arm tackles. Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles are not getting done because of the basic things. They're not doing the simple things that you have to do to be a great defense. And until they solve those issues, it has little to do with what Matt Patricia is calling. It has everything to do to how they're executing the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, it's elementary football, and listen, I'm not going to lie here. It pains me as a former Giant here to sit here and watch the Eagles just, struggle over these last games. I think this defense has gotten away too, aside from the tackling, but what they do best, they get after the quarterback. Just 11 sacks since week 10. So they're not the ferocious pass rush that we saw earlier on in the season that was taking over games. They just have not been getting home. I even go back to the Giants game a couple weeks ago. They only got 1 sack against that Giants O-line, who they had dominated in previous matchups. So that's obviously a big part of this defense. But I think when you look at both sides of the ball, look, they both are shouldering some of the blame. We were talking about Jalen Hurts before. He has not been as good from the pocket as he was last year. The turnovers have plagued them offensively. And I think when you kind of go back and look at his last 3 games, 4 interceptions in those last 3 games, that puts your defense out there on a short field, and it kind of makes them lose confidence. So I think he needs to do a better job offensively, taking care of the football, obviously. But I also look at this offense. This offense, when they were humming, it was DeAndre Swift that was carrying the weight. Starting off with him, everything layered off of him, and I think they need to get back to some of that. A lot of times, look, it's cute to have Jalen Hurts and all the quarterback design runs. Save those for when you really need them. The end of the game scenario. Save those for when you have the blitz zero defenses. Don't go to the well too many times, and that's what I feel like they're doing offensively. Look, Jalen, he's doing a much better job playing, throwing the ball when he gets outside the pocket and he's rolling around and making ad-lib plays. But they've got to protect him. Too much of that. I'm seeing too much of Jalen trying to do too much. And I think sometimes you do that when you know you're not playing your best football.
Yeah, I don't want to add fuel to the fire here for Philadelphia fans because I know they're already upset. But no team that has made the playoffs after losing 4 out of their last 6 games to close out the season has gotten past the divisional round. It's something actually I want to talk to you tomorrow a little bit. One of those teams is actually a Giants team back in '06. So maybe there's some advice that you can cook up for them.
All right, we'll go back to the archives.
Exactly, to tomorrow's show. But meanwhile, in this division here from a Dallas perspective, because now they control their own path to go and winning this division, put into context just how big this game is for them against the Commanders.
Yeah, for Dallas, look, they finally got the ball to bounce their way last week. I feel like the one conversation we keep having about Dallas is, man, they're such a good team, but they find ways to lose games, whether it's bad clock management, whether it's, a terrible pass or an interception. But this offense at home has been different this year. They've been dominant. That man right there, CeeDee Lamb, who just broke every record Michael Irvin had ever made as a Cowboy. I think this team has a totally different swagger, a different confidence offensively, and Dak has been lighting up. He's been playing really well. I also think there is absolutely some truth to that defense playing at home. You want to go into that building on 3rd down with the crowd fired up and all the noise and let Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence tee off on you, that is absolutely an edge for them defensively. So no doubt, them playing at home is a big deal, and this game is huge for them. Nobody wants to go into Dallas right now with that confidence, with the amount of points they're putting up, 37 points a game at home. Man, you better bring it. You better bring your A game if you're going to try to beat Dallas at home.
Pardon me for channeling my inner kid.
Here we go.
Because I was a Cowboys fan growing up.
Here we go.
And I know sitting with 2 Giants guys, it probably pains you to think that this is the year. But this might be the year for the Cowboys to finally get it done. When I look at the Cowboys having the opportunity to play at home, they are just a different team at home, averaging over 37 points. The point differential is almost 22 points between what they're scoring and what they're giving up. So an opportunity to go and knock off the Commanders. They have maybe 2 home games. Oh, man. The Cowboys fans should get ready because, look, you're almost writing the ticket. You're writing the ticket for them to go to the Super Bowl because this offense is that good, and Mike McCarthy has this team.
That shirt's a little faded, right? Because that slogan's been going for years.
It was a long time ago, but, I mean, you can always bring it back.
I'll say this, man. If they're playing 2 home games, then a lot of those fans in Dallas will be wearing San Francisco 49ers shirts because they do not want to head to the Bay Area because the reality is that that has not been pretty to see those 2 teams go head-to-head. The Niners absolutely smashed the Cowboys